Hello, and welcome to Barre, Vermont, beautiful little town that is the home of many of the leading manufacturers in the monument industry. I'm Troy Caldwell, and it is my great privilege to be your host for this training video. This video's title is Textures in Memorial Design, and that is what we're here to educate you about. We'd like to thank Rouleau Granite for their participation in this video, for the facilities, for their staff's participation, especially for Dave Sassy and his involvement in the education of our members. We thank you, and we hope that you learn a lot about textures, what's available in Memorial Design, and how to achieve those designs.
The textures that we will cover are polished, steel, dusted, rock-pitched, stippled, axed, sunburst, and flamed. Polished surfaces are a very common texture in memorials. So common, in fact, that most of us don't even think of it as a texture. Steeled surfaces are slightly rougher and much lighter than the polished surface. This texture can be used to accent polished areas or on the entire monument to give a lighter color tone. Dusted surfaces are used in memorial design on both large surfaces and as an accent area. This texture is smooth and medium in color. Rock-pitched surfaces are very common, especially along the edges of memorials. On some memorials, it is even used to accent the design areas on the face of the stone. This technique gives a dramatic contrast in texture. Stippled surfaces can be used over the entire face of a memorial or to accent a certain area. It is a lighter and rougher surface. Axed surfaces can also be used over the entire face of a memorial or to accent a certain area. This lighter colored texture has very distinct lines which give it a unique character. Sunburst texture is mainly used to draw attention to a design area on the face of a memorial. It is like rough, rock-pitched rays which lead your eye's attention to the actual focal point. Flame-textured surfaces are very dramatic. They are medium in color and very rough. Though they are seldom used in memorial design, they can provide a great alternative to traditional textures.
Polished surfaces are what most of us in the monument industry use as our bare canvas with which to create memorials. It is so common to have polished surfaces on the memorial that most of the monument manufacturers have installed automatic polishing equipment. This polishing equipment is designed to polish large areas of granite as quickly and efficiently as possible. In order to polish the granite, the rough blocks must be sawn. The sawing provides an accurate flat surface with which to begin the polishing. Polishing the granite is simply grinding the surface of the stone. While grinding, you gradually step from a coarser grinding to a finer grinding. With each step, the granite gets smoother and smoother. Then you end up with a soft buffing to bring out the shine and luster. A lot of polishing processes, like top and end polishing or hand polishing, require the use of tin oxide during the final buffing stage. This tin oxide material is simply a very fine abrasive that will not scratch the granite at all, but instead will bring out the luster and shine. Polish can be used as the main area on the face of a memorial, on the ends and top, or as a darker contrast area in a design. No matter where polished surfaces are used in memorial design, they provide color, contrast, and shine. Polished granite provides us with a beautiful foundation with which to carve out our artwork. Steel granite surfaces that can be used in memorial design are often misinterpreted. Many times in our industry, we use the term steel to describe a sawed surface or even a sandblasted surface on a memorial. In order to have a truly steel surface, it is necessary to grind the surface of the stone with a steel wheel. Along with this steel wheel, a combination of water and steel shot are used to grind the stone. This grinding gives the surface a brighter and lighter appearance as the rougher areas refract the light. By grinding the surface in a circular motion, the texture is even over the entire area. There are no distinctive patterns or lines on the surface, just even texture and tone quality. Steel granite surfaces provide a smooth, even texture that are very light. There is no shine. It is more of a satin finished surface. This texture is ideal in your memorial design when you want a very light hue of color on a surface that doesn't shine. When you combine this texture with polished granite, the contrast is very attractive. Here's a suggestion. The next time you're designing a black memorial, include into the design an additional piece of all-steel gray granite. The contrast between the two helps give the memorial a lot more distinctive character. Dusted granite surfaces are also very commonly used in memorial design. They are very similar in appearance to the steel surface. The dusted surface is created by sandblasting the surface of the stone with an abrasive. Steel shot is the most commonly used abrasive because it gives the surface an even tone quality that is lighter in appearance. It is much easier for memorial designers to use a dusted texture in a memorial design because they already have access to the needed sandblast equipment. One suggestion for using the dusted texture is to start with the polished surface. Then leave the design area itself polished and dust the remainder of the memorial. This draws attention to the design. It gives the needed contrast and it makes it look like a steel surface around a polished surface. One of the best parts of dusting is the fact that the abrasive type and grit can be changed to achieve dramatic differences in color, tone, and texture. For instance, a coarse grit of steel shot will give a brighter and lighter appearance, while on the other hand, the use of a very fine abrasive or abrasive dust can provide a darker and smoother texture. When the abrasive dust is used, it is sometimes called bluing because it brings out a blue cast on the gray granite. The important thing to remember about dusting is it is easy to incorporate into a design because the granite will need to be sandblasted anyway. Experiment with many different grits and abrasives. This will help you see the many different effects available with this texturing technique, and it will give you a palette of different colors with which to create your designs. Rock pitch surfaces are the natural rough rock texture that is achieved by breaking the stone with a chisel. Rock-pitched areas are very common on the top and ends of a memorial tablet, partly because it is the least expensive texture for those areas, and also because it gives the memorial a natural stone appearance. There are many different chisels that can be used to break the stone. For many of us in the monument business, it will be much easier for us to design memorials with rock-pitched areas and leave the actual rock pitching to a stone cutter. The stone cutter has the experience needed to know how that stone will react to the chisel. We can, however, do the actual rock pitching ourselves, if we so desire, by simply chipping the stone with a hammer and chisel. This natural rock pitching gives the stone a dramatic contrast to some of the other textures, like polished or steel surfaces. One of the techniques for a rock pitch texture is to engrave a deep and wide line around a design area or in the outer face of a memorial. Then use the chisel to break off that border area by breaking it off from the outside edge to the deep line. This gives the appearance that the contrasting texture is raised up out of the rough stone. Another design idea is to include a rock-pitched piece into the design. For instance, you can add a sub-base under the tablet that is exactly the size as the bottom of the tablet with the sides rock-pitched. This will give the optical illusion that it is all one piece and you just polished the top part. Be bold and daring as you design a memorial. Put in some rock-pitched texture and watch it give the memorial a rustic character.